Yes, I got it. I almost forgot where that other day, right? Okay. Who know the last message that I put out? I put out a message with no lip service, right? He did not want any lip service. That means talk the talk and walk the walk. If you speak something, try and put actions behind it, right? Check it out by the way. You guys, when I got that one, remember in the video it was like I told you guys, like I was remembering, like them old lady. Oh, I remember in those days, boy, when I used to, wherever. The Lord, literally, you guys, he just now he say, do you know that ex, that you done divorce, that you done, yeah. He said, don't let the devil, your ex, the devil, you done, your husband, you done divorce, that kind of, don't let him try to, what he said, ex want, don't let him try to come and remind you of the good old days so he will come back. Don't let him try to remember of the good old days. He will bring up the time. Yeah, remember, look how much fun you used to have and this and that. He said, don't let that. Because as much as he remember the bad things too, remember those bad things. He said, do you know? I'm gonna get a little deep. Do you know why? Do you know that why it is that you go and you dance? You say you ever seen a go-go club or those, okay, all are we in saints here, we ain't come out of the womb born Christians, right? So you're supposed to know when you have like a go-go club or I wonder if you guys, I'm not familiar with these things. Guys, watch these things of movies. I know nothing but these, but you can like go and actually see it, right? I know these things exist. I know that I see them through movies or whatever. But you see those pole dancing things, and when those ladies will come and they will wind up on these men and stuff. He said these are seductive dance, right? Seductive dance. It is suggestive and seductive dance, right? It is used by the enemy to seduce, to entice, right? So it's seductive and enticing dancing, right? When it is you do all of that. It is a seductive and enticing dance. And the reason the reason why these things is dangerous is because it's seduced, right? And listen, if that is not your mate and there is so much dangers with this thing. What is gonna happen? You're gonna tempt somebody, and then that person can't have you, and all these kind of things, and this could end up with rape. All these kind of different things can happen. I know plenty of people who living that kind of life and who like that kind of life. Ain't going like the words by saying out my mouth. This is why I get plenty, backlash after I don't speak this, but I have to speak what the Holy Spirit is telling me. I was in those kind of life too, so I could tell you it's a seductive dance because when half of the time, and some of you all know it, half of the time when you finish, dancing up on someone or grinding up on someone or whatever it is, there is dancing. Listen, there is good and bad in both. There is dancing. This is why I used to say I like the dancing back then because it used to be like real, different kind of dancing. It never used to be. I'm not saying all dancing is wrong, but there is certain songs that put that calls for seductive dancing, right? That give you instruction to be seductive, right? And when you seduce, you entice. These are characteristics of demon. When you entice, it's like you're working for the enemy. When you entice men into doing that, and half of you all who knows and who has been done that, you will feel the man. You will feel that he's turned on, and oftentimes things that men would not do when they are not turned on or when they're in a normal mind. Not everybody could take being warm up like that, and right, when they aren't like that. He said oftentimes the thing we're going to go through their head is, she wants me or whatever, and it won't be that you want them to just be that you're having an enjoyable time or whatever it is, but it does seduce, and these things can potentially lead to rape, right? Lead to rape and all these kind of things, right? And when they don't want you to, what happens when somebody rape you out of the fact that you tempt them to rape you, right? What happens when they don't want anybody, they're gonna be ashamed, they don't want anybody to know this, they're gonna want to kill you. This is always the rape and murder take place because they're trying to cover it up. You understand? So the Lord brought this to me. He said, don't let the ex, right now, the ex, girl, you ever for women and men, you ever like see ex and they come and they start to reminisce on the good old days. Yeah, don't let that ex start to entice you. Have already divorced that old man, right? Even though you may pop up and say, remember this, and you're sure you don't want to go back there and, yeah, remember when you used to, don't let that entice you into doing that, right? That is that ex calling you back. Don't let that ex remind you. The devil is like the ex. When I say the ex, I ain't talking about, yeah. Don't let that kind of lifestyle call you back. Don't let that kind of lifestyle call you back, right? Stay blessed, stay strong. Bye, guys.